Our top focus story on the broadcast, the encounter in Handwara in North Kashmir. The reports when they first came in seemed to indicate that terrorists from Pakistan had taken local Kashmiris, especially women and children, as hostage. The army went in to rescue them. There was a fierce encounter. The commanding officer, a company commander, 2 soldiers of the battalion and 1 sub-inspector of the Jammu and Kashmir police were inside that house. The encounter lasted through the night. This morning, both terrorists were killed, but we also lost 5 braves. Fortunately, all civilians were saved. Shujaul Haq and Ashraf Wani with our top story.
Intense gun battle, fierce encounter, terrorists holed up in civilian houses. Based on the intelligence input that terrorists have civilians hostage in Changi Mulla area of Handwara in Kupwara district, a joint operation was launched by Army and J&K police. As the forces swooped in to rescue women and children held hostage, they came under heavy fire for terrorists.
लोग खेतों पे थे तो वो अचानक जब फायरिंग हुई तो घरों में आ गए, वापस आ गए, तो फिर घरों में ही बैठ गए क्योंकि इतनी जोरदार तरीके से जब फायरिंग हुई लोगों में खौफ, एक डर को
हम घरों में भी डर रहे हैं कि घरों में बैठने के लिए डर रहे हैं। इसके बाद और एक वाकया सामने आया आगा हंदवारा से, आपने सुना होगा कि वहाँ पे एक शव जो है वो फट गया था, उसकी वजह से करीबन 7 अफराद उसमें से जख्मी हो गए, जिसमें माइनर बच्चे भी हैं, उनको श्रीनगर मुंतकिल किया गया, लेकिन अभी भी कुछ यहाँ पे हमारे हंदवारा हॉस्पिटल में भी मौजूद है।
In the fierce encounter, 5 jawans laid down their lives. Among those martyred is a commanding officer of 21 Rashtriya Rifles Unit, Colonel Ashutosh Sharma, a decorated officer who had been part of several successful counter-terrorism operations in the past. Major Anuj Sood, Nayak Rajesh, Lance Naik Dinesh and Sub-Inspector Shakil Ghazi were among the martyrs. The Braves, however, neutralized 2 terrorists, including Haider, self-styled Kashmir commander of Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Toiba.
The operation is over, but the searches and the cordon in the vast area is currently on. The army believes that probably the group which may have recently infiltrated may be comprising of some more militants. That is why this search operation is currently going on in the Rajwar forests of Handwara.
As an indebted nation paid tributes, the family of the martyrs remain composed and proud of the sacrifices.
इतना गर्व है कि you won't find tears in my eyes. If I remove this mask, you'll find a smiling face beneath this.
आज मेरे ख्याल से हमारे परिवार के लिए सबसे बड़ा दिन होगा, हमारे पूर्वजों के लिए सबसे बड़ा दिन होगा, जहाँ आज वो गर्व फील कर रहे होंगे कि उनके एक बच्चे ने देश के लिए शहादत दी है.
He has made the supreme sacrifice for saving others as a call of his duty and what he was trained for.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh led the nation in paying tribute to the martyrs. With Ashraf Wani in Srinagar and Devankur Vadhavan in Jaipur, Bureau Report, India Today.
And just a short while back, I spoke to Pallavi Ashutosh Sharma, the wife of brave Colonel Ashutosh Sharma, commanding officer of the 21st Battalion Rashtriya Rifles. It's still to sink in. She's very, very proud of her husband. She wants her daughter to be a good Indian citizen like her father. She also hopes that there will be robust rules of engagement so that India doesn't continue to lose our braves. And joining me now on the broadcast is Pallavi Ashutosh Sharma, wife of brave Colonel Ashutosh Sharma, the commanding officer of the Rashtriya Rifles Unit in Handwara in North Kashmir. Ma'am, please accept our heartfelt condolences. It's a great loss to you, ma'am. It's a great loss to our nation. Ma'am, if I may, when was the last time you spoke to Colonel Sharma, ma'am?
I spoke to him on 1st of May, it was 26th raising day of his battalion, 21 RR. That time we spoke for a while, just I would say hardly for a minute or so.
Ma'am, I've been speaking to a number of army officers and they say your husband was exceptionally brave, a Sena Medal for gallantry twice. I believe he had the option to command his unit in peace, but he chose to command a Rashtriya Rifles unit in the valley in North Kashmir. Is that true? Did the two of you discuss this, ma'am?
It was, I would say, a mutual decision. He took permission from me. It was something mutual. I want to command in field. I want to command my men. I want to serve nation. So should I go for it? Will you support me? I said, it's totally for me, it's about your happiness and your satisfaction. I would never want you to command in peace and having all those luxuries and you not being happy and satisfied. That was the thing we discussed.
Did he discuss the current environment in the valley with you? You've also been to the valley, I'm told. You're aware of the environment he was serving in?
Mrs. Sawant, in Kashmir, he served for 2.5 years and he was about to complete another 2 years. So I was very much aware how things are there, and I used to visit him often following the army protocols. So I had been to that place a number of times. So I had an idea how things are there, how environment is there.
Ma'am, one thing I've learnt about Colonel Sharma is that even as a company commander, he always led from the front. His main aim was to ensure that his men stayed safe. Is there something that you can tell us about his nature? And did he discuss this with you earlier operations? The fact that he won a Sena Medal twice for gallantry in the past, ma'am? And also, what have you learnt about what happened here, ma'am?
Definitely, Mr. Sawant. At present, I'm really not in picture what happened yesterday over there. I'm not in that mind frame to have that details. But definitely, I personally feel saving those civilians, saving those Kashmiris over there make no sense, and that too at cost of army officers, at cost of army lives. It makes no sense. It's a big loss for everyone. At the same time, it's a gain for me, I would say, in terms of honor, in terms of sacrifice he had done. But then one should understand no one can ever match the way he used to lead his men, the way he used to care about them, the way he was so honest towards his profession. His only priority was his uniform, that's it.
Ma'am, you have a daughter. Does she also want to join the armed forces? Is that her dream? Was that Colonel Sharma's dream for her?
I would like my daughter to do whatever she wants, whatever would give happiness to her, as a good human being, as a good citizen of India. It is not necessary to be in army to serve your country. If you can be a good, responsible citizen, good, responsible human being, purpose is solved.
Ma'am, I was told yours is quite an OG family, if I may, an olive green family. You've also felt very close to the armed forces. Were you also in the National Cadet Corps? Was being a part of an army family always in your blood, ma'am? Is that what you also perhaps may want to do?
It goes some few years back. I'm an NCC cadet, a mountaineer eligible for expeditions. I wanted to join army, and over there I met Ashu. And he joined army. I got selected, but got rejected on some medical terms. And I would love to do that, but considering my age, I don't think so I'll be able to. I haven't thought on these lines. कभी पता ही नहीं था कि ऐसा कुछ हो जाएगा, तो सोचा ही नहीं था. So,
ma'am, it's a great loss for our country. It's a great loss for you personally. Once again, please accept our heartfelt condolences, ma'am. For the moment, many thanks for speaking to us here on India Today. This is an unaffordably high cost that our nation has had to pay fighting Pakistan state-sponsored terror. There are two wars that India is fighting. One is against the coronavirus, the other is against the virus of Pakistan state-sponsored terror. Let me quickly bring in our special guests on the broadcast. Lieutenant General Syed Atta Hasnain, former Chinar Corps commander. He knows Kashmir like the back of his hand. He knows this exact area where this operation had taken place. General, welcome on India Today. I also want to welcome Sardar R.P. Singh, National Secretary of the Bharatiya Janata Party. The question remains, does this country need more robust rules of engagement to keep our soldiers, our braves, safe when they fight Pakistani virus? Let me quickly bring in General Atta Hasnain first. General Hasnain, what can you tell us about this operation in particular, where to kill two Pakistani terrorists, including Haidar, the self-styled commander of Lashkar-e-Taiba? We've lost 5 braves, including the CO and company commander, sir.
Gaurav, firstly, let me express my deep regrets for this grievous loss that we have suffered. We suffered a similar loss on the 1st of April, if you remember, where we lost 5 of our Special Forces personnel in an operation counter-infiltration up in the Kupwara. This is the second one where we have lost 5, so we've lost almost 10 people from the army itself. Now, in this particular case, again, what I can contemplate is that an infiltration took place and managed to reach an infiltration track, managed to reach the Rajwar forest, which is adjoining Handwara, the Handwara town, and was possibly looking for a safe house, and in the process was trying to take some hostages. An intelligence alert was sounded, and 21RR, the very, very outstanding unit which is located here, responded to that. And while it responded, the CO and the CO's party itself joined in the response. Now, this is not a very unusual thing, and a lot of people seem to be questioning as to what the CO was doing right up in front. There is no rear and there is no front in such operations. Everything is the front here. And they enjoined in the operations, eliminated 2 terrorists, but somehow got stuck in some kind of an hostage issue which is unclear yet, and I'm not even wanting to clarify that at this stage. A suitable inquiry will, I'm sure, clarify it subsequently. And that's how it happened, and the CO himself got involved somewhere inside the house, where unfortunately we lost these 5 people while we could only eliminate 2 terrorists. There are lots and lots of lessons from it. There are lots of observations I have. If we have the time, we will discuss it.
Sure, we'll take this step by step. But the first question, the army wanted to rescue hostages, civilians, women and children who were held hostage in that house by these Pakistani terrorists, is what we are being told. And to do that, while they succeeded in bringing the civilians out, this is what happened, where we had fatalities on our side. Do we need more robust rules of engagement? RP is saying, you know, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, after Pulwama, had made a very big commitment to the country that terror will be punished at source. That is exactly what happened both after Uri and after Pulwama. But is that what is required, sir? More robust rules of engagement. Can we expect that from this government?
Gaurav, before I start, let me pay my respect for the valor of these 5 soldiers and the supreme sacrifice they are giving to the nation. And as you rightly said, that nation need to redraft the policy, and then we need to be more robust, and this sacrifice should not go unanswered. I mean, I'm very sure the government would be thinking about it, planning about it. The army itself would be planning about it. So it is a matter of time, and I'm sure that a proper answer will be given on this. On earlier occasion also, army has given a very befitting reply, including destroying their launch pads, and even now, even last month also,
General,
launch pads, right? And I'm very sure the army would be calibrating what answer they have to give.
General, when we talk about army will give a befitting reply, and if I may, just the artillery duels at the line of control, does that send out an effective message to Pakistan? Because despite the surgical strike, despite the air strike in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan seems to be sending in terrorists even now. I mean, they're dying of coronavirus, they're dying in every which way, but they're still pushing in terrorists into our country.
Gaurav, that's a very good question, there's no doubt. And there are no ready-made answers to it. I will confess that there are no ready-made answers to it. But there are 2 ways of responding to these kind of incidents. One is very robust operations within the Jammu and Kashmir, the Kashmir Valley itself. You've seen in the month of April, we have eliminated almost 30 terrorists. But unfortunately, two in such incidents have resulted in loss of about 9 to 10 people, which has upset the ratio. This is a short bracket in which we are looking at the ratios. I'm sure as the campaigning season goes along, we will be able to eliminate a much larger number. What you're looking at is Pakistan trying to energize the whole terror grid in Kashmir because they know that the options were running out for them. And they know that if there is normalcy in Kashmir, Pakistan's stakes are going to be completely diluted. And that is why they've tried to up the ante. They're trying to shift terrorists from South Kashmir to North Kashmir. They're trying to infiltrate terrorists from the LOC right into North Kashmir. There is requirement of a very robust counter-infiltration and a counter-terrorist operations which have to carry on. And I'm sure 15 Corps, the organization which looks after it, my former corps, is absolutely ready to do this. This trading of shelling across the line of control is a psychological thing. Yes, tell me. Tell me, Gaurav.
You know, we've been fighting this war for the past 30 years. Pakistan sends in terrorists, we kill those terrorists. So we are only pruning branches and leaves of the terror tree. Do we need to up the ante in a more robust way, hit terror at source and bleed the Pakistan army, the sponsor of terror, to know that terror cannot be a low-cost option? It kills you from within when you speak to, Colonel Sharma's family or other army families or armed forces families. You know that better than anybody else, how it kills you from within. Why should we feel the pain all the time? The pain should be felt by the perpetrators of terror.
Gaurav, that is a very typical response from the environment. There's no doubt. Everyone is demanding this kind of an answer from the government and from the army. But having said that, let me tell you, these are low-intensity operations which are going on. If you want to go in for a robust kind of a response against Pakistan of the manner in which Balakot was played out, etc., you should be ready for war. And India is ready for war. There's no doubt about it. We should be ready for war. We should be ready for a nuclear war. Because there is a nuclear armed neighbor that you have got. It's not so simple. What I want to tell the environment is it's not such a simple thing. You think that war is going to resolve this issue? You think that Pakistan is going to vaporize with war tomorrow?
No, but there are so many other options except war.
You have to find ways
But General, is that the only way? Is that the only way? That you either let Pakistanis kill you, you either let Pakistanis kill our soldier, or there will be war. I'm sure there are many other graded mechanisms between a nuclear war.
Gaurav, there are options in the middle which the government has tried out. It's gone ahead with surgical strikes. It's gone ahead with air strikes. It's gone ahead with, we are looking at economic measures. We're looking at diplomatic measures. We can have a hybrid kind of an approach. We can do much more damage inside Pakistan through covert operations, of which we cannot talk and we should not talk. So all this is going on. This is not going to lead to short-term solutions. Let me tell you very clearly. I think the government of India also understands it. All of us understand.
3 decades. Sir, 3 decades long enough for a long-term solution to have an impact on ground, perhaps. And RP saying one surgical strike, one air strike. What more is required? Perhaps that's the big question for the Narendra Modi government at this point of time. We are fighting the coronavirus pandemic. We are also fighting the Pakistan terror pandemic. That virus also. RP Singh.
Well, there are hard options, and I'm very hopeful government will be calibrating that, and it has to be probably something else other than the airstrike and the surgical strike. Probably something much more stronger and something more robust. And I'm very sure Army would be planning something, and then they would not allow the sacrifice to waste. And whatever the Army decide, and when it comes back to the government is 100% going to support the Army. And government has already given a free hand to Army to take a call on all such actions. And then, yes, I go by you that it's 30 years and it's high time to call the bluff of the Pakistan nuclear war, nuclear bomb also. So, need we take them head on.
You know, India will not fall for Pakistan's nuclear war bogey. One thing remains clear. Pakistan's state-sponsored terror must be punished. It cannot go on like this. We cannot afford to lose any more lives in our country to that virus of Pakistan state-sponsored terror. General Atta Hasnain, as always, many thanks for joining me. Sardar R.P. Singh of the Bharatiya Janata Party, many thanks for joining me. As we salute our braves from the security forces, we also pay our respects to those braves at the front line of this war on novel coronavirus. Our doctors, our nurses, our ambulance drivers, our sanitation workers, our police personnel, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force and the Coast Guard. The entire country came together to pay respects to our frontline corona warriors. This is the report we filed from Delhi and Mumbai.
Flypasts, floral tributes from Srinagar to Hyderabad, Mumbai to Thiruvananthapuram, an honor from the sky by the Indian Air Force. The gesture of thanks started with laying of flowers by the chiefs of the Army, Navy and Air Force at the Police Memorial in Delhi on Sunday morning to honor police personnel deployed to enforce the nationwide lockdown. Indian Air Force then flew its helicopters over Rajpath as a tribute to all corona warriors.
It was truly a spectacular sight when India's most potent weapon platforms, the Su-30 MKI, the Jaguar deep penetration strike aircraft and the MiG-29 air superiority fighters lined up at Rajpath and flew past India Gate. The message was very clear. The Indian Armed Forces, frontline coronavirus fighters themselves, paying respect and tributes to our doctors, nurses, sanitation workers, police personnel and other frontline coronavirus fighters.
The fighter jets dropped petals at hospitals across Delhi, including AIIMS Sir Ganga Ram Hospital, among treating COVID patients. In Mumbai, fighter jets conducted a flypast over Marine Drive and showered petals over the King Edward Memorial Hospital and Kasturba Gandhi Hospital, among others. An Indian Navy helicopter showered flowers on the staff of Indian Navy's INHS Ashwini in Mumbai. The showering of petals was clearly visible from ground owing to improved visibility due to lockdown.
We are at Marine Drive and that's NCPA Nariman Point, the end of Mumbai. This is a grand display of gratitude for all the corona warriors, especially the doctors, all the healthcare workers and the police personnel of the state of Maharashtra.
Many of healthcare workers have fallen prey to the virus and hundreds have been infected. But still they have been waging a valiant fight. India's biggest tribute ever to frontline medical workers is aimed at boosting their morale in the fight against the virus. With Gaurav Sawant in Delhi, Tanushree Pandey in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
There still is clear and present danger. 40,000 coronavirus cases in India, the single biggest spike with 2,600 cases just today. So as we enter lockdown 3.0, do take care, maintain social distance, wear a mask, wash your hands as often as you can, carry a sanitizer and just stay safe. It's a long war. Your steps will keep you safe. For the moment, many thanks for watching. Stay home, stay safe, keep watching India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.